How, Ben, has Hezbollah been able to build up its arsenal to the levels that we understand to exist today?
Well, for one thing, it's being supplied by Iran. And for another thing, they have also developed their own capabilities. Just to give you an anecdote, if you go to the Dahia, the southern suburb of Beirut, what you see are these great big billboards of all the students who have graduated with high grades from universities specializing in engineering, chemistry, all sorts of sort of real world practical skills. They place a great emphasis on education. So they have developed their own capabilities. But let's keep in mind, Gaza is surrounded. It may have had tunnels to Egypt, but by and large, by sea, by air, by land, it is surrounded. It's basically an open air prison. We've heard that before. Lebanon is not. Lebanon has Syria, borders with Syria. Syria has borders with Iraq. Iraq has borders with Iran. The ability, basically, it's a strategic depth that Hamas in Gaza never had. And therefore, the ability for Iran to supply it with weapons, for fighters from Hezbollah to go to Iran, to get advanced training in not only sort of fighting, but scientific specializations that allow them to develop weapons themselves. So it's not simply a case of, a ragtag militia in Lebanon receiving sophisticated weaponry. They are well trained in the use of that weaponry. Becky?
And Ben, we talk about the significant scope of these short, medium and long-term rockets. What about the impact of what is a relatively new weapon in their arsenal, that of drones?
Yeah, that 9-minute video that Hezbollah put out from over Haifa, and of course, Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah, came out and said, look, we have a lot more, not only around Haifa, but he said after Haifa and after Haifa. So not only do they have the ability to collect intelligence, obviously, drones, a lot of drones you can actually buy off the shelf and then fit them with military capabilities. And in addition, drones are much cheaper, for instance, than a ballistic missile. They're easy to put together, they're easy to fly, it's not hard to train somebody on them, and they can be equipped with, as I said, weaponry as well. And this has really changed the face, the face of warfare. We saw it in Ukraine, we're seeing it in the Middle East, where all sorts of new weaponry and tactics are coming out. And I think the Israelis, who have a massive military establishment, are struggling to deal with this new nature of warfare. And the drone certainly is one of the most obvious components of that new generation of war.